Had 3 or 4 guys that went down. Boren, is he going to be?
Jacoby's cleared. Devin Bogart has not been cleared, and there's potential surgery again, which is just heart bleeds for him. Rashad Frazier's got an ankle sprain. It's I guess probable or questionable would be there. And is that it?
Burrows.
Karen Burrows is questionable as well. We had a little stinger, shoulder stinger.
You think your 2 road trips have you prepared to go to a place like Beaver City?
Not like this one. This is one of those ones. It's one of those top 10 in the country, top 5, really top 5 in the country places. So it's hard to get ready for this one. But we've had some good practices, and the one thing about our setup out here, we can get some noise pumped in pretty good.
Okay, we can hear that from here. What good does that do you? What's the benefit of that?
What's that?
That noise. How does it pay off?
Well, the only thing is it's the communication on offense. During a play and making sure the 5 guys hear you, and then the silly penalties, the 5-yard penalties, because a lot of times it goes on the center cadence, and we've been decent about it. But you've seen sometimes it looks like a
Are you into like
circus
hand
out
signals
there.
and stuff though? I mean, in these kind of situations.
It's all hand signals, but not with the offensive line. Yeah. The only issues are the 5 guys up front, because the receivers go off the ball, but it's the 5 guys moving together.
Urban, they open up.
Tight end set to set up the modified jet sweep with Dontre a lot against Maryland, but not so much against Rutgers. And we see Jalen Marshall getting incorporated more. Can you comment on sort of the mindset between those 2 decisions?
On the 2 tight end, we have 2. We had in the game plan last week to use a little bit of 2 tight ends, and for whatever reason we didn't get to that package. And Dontre or Jalen is just getting better and better. And so as you improve, you get more opportunities. And Dontre is playing well too. But when Jalen goes, any position, there's other guys that are getting more and more reps because they're just earning it. I'm sorry. Well, I think it's pretty good. I think it's Larry, and I've heard that Penn State considers Ohio State the rival. Obviously, we have one, but this is. I think it's a little bit like when we played Wisconsin a couple years ago. Is that really right? It's a rivalry because it's really good teams, and over the last probably 15 years, I don't know the record, but those some big games. So we consider them a elite program, and it's going to be a tough game.
Can you tell on video the difference between Coach O'Brien and now Coach Franklin? What's different about them at all?
Probably offensively, which might be a good question for our defensive staff. I've watched a little bit of their offense, but defensively, it's a lot different. But you'd expect that out of Coach Bryant wasn't a defensive coach.
And they opened up 4-0, and they've lost their last 2. Has there been any difference along those? Have they done anything differently, or have they?
I think they just played a couple of pretty good teams and won on the road.
Urban, you've been through it a couple times in your career when you've been the job. Specifically, when you come in with a new quarterback, when a new coach and a new staff comes in, can that be a hard transition for the guy who's running the offense, getting used to the new system?
Well, Chris Leak, we did have that. Chris Leak was, but it was really that much not different. It was not that much different in the system that but we struggled our first year. We were awful. So, but it got better as the season wore. So there's a little bit of feeling out process for new quarterback. And if this is directed towards Hackett, I don't know all that, but there is a little bit of a feeling out system.
Yeah, because he's friendly, but
inherited
he's
it.
a talented guy, and dealing with a new staff and
That's true. I don't know that situation.
Urban, this is no secret. 2 more questions, guys.
Several of your players have said that the moment that J.T. Barrett took over the team as his pregame speech at Penn State, I'm wondering if that resonated with you in the same way.
I didn't hear it. I can see he's a pretty passionate guy. So that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Did you hear about it though? I guess he spoke to the team before the game and stuff.
I really didn't. No.
Was there a moment that you saw leadership-wise that things clicked for him?
No, I don't know if there's a moment. I just see the gradual process that goes on to the maturity of the quarterback. Him getting hit as many times as he did against Virginia Tech. They've got nothing to go, and that was when he started earning my respect. And there are no excuses made, and everybody could have done better, including coaches, and he just kept going. So that's, I think for someone to stand up and whether they give a speech or whatever, it depends who's standing up and what has he shown. I think everybody, including Buckeye Nation, saw it. Something that got hit a bunch against Virginia Tech and kept swinging. That's how you earn respect.
Urban, it's no secret. It's no secret their offensive line, Penn State's offensive line, has had some problems this year so far. You overly challenge your defensive line to take. I mean, how does that work? I mean, in a week like this.
Yeah, I think it's. I always ask them, how's your offensive line, and there's, I think that there's some strengths and weaknesses to any offensive line, and it's identify the weaknesses and expose them. And yes, you do challenge them, and yes, offensive and defense lines with how you win games. And that's very clear on this whole program.
Are you gonna wear
Nice.
black uniform? Thank you very much.
Black uniform.
Black uniform. People talking about the black uniform fitting on the desk.
Oh, somewhere down the road, maybe. It's not this week.
Would you be okay with that?
That's up to my boss. I would, sure.